Hello bakers! What could be better than chocolate chip cookies and brownies? I'll tell you what, a brownie layer cake with cookie dough frosting, and that's what we're going to make today. Also stay tuned because in this episode I'm going to give you a very special announcement about a new series coming up that I'm really excited about. So let's get baking. So we're going to start out by making our brownies. Now I kid you not, this is the best ever brownie recipe. They are really moist and fudgy and that's the way I like them. So we're going to start out by melting our chocolate and butter gently together. You can do this over a bain-marie or you can do it in the microwave. You just want to make sure it doesn't get too hot. Once your chocolate and butter is melted, we're going to add in our sugars, our white sugar and our brown sugar. Now if you don't have brown sugar, don't worry about it, you can use all white. But the brown sugar definitely gives it kind of a molassesy, kind of fudgy flavour and texture. You stir in the sugars now because it cools down the mix before you add in the eggs. Because if you don't cool it down, you will end up with chocolate eggs, which sound very nice, but it's not. This brownie recipe is just insane. I absolutely love it. Set your chocolate mix aside and then in a separate jug, crack in your eggs and add your vanilla extract and then whisk them all well together. Next, whisk in your eggs into your chocolate mix. Do this step quite quickly. Then we're going to sift over our flour, cocoa powder and salt. And then gently fold these ingredients together to get a nice smooth brownie batter. Take care not to overmix because you don't want to toughen your brownies. Our batter is now ready to be poured into our lined and buttered baking tin. Look how fudgy that is. I've never been much of a chewy brownie person. I definitely much prefer fudgy. Our brownie cake is ready for the oven. Now the one thing we don't want to do with this little guy is overbake him because he'll dry out and he won't be nice and fudgy, which is the way we want him. So you want to keep a close eye and make sure he turns out perfect. So what's my big announcement? Well, I'm really excited to tell you that my long-awaited breakfast series is airing this Monday the 20th and every Monday leading up to Mother's Day. I will show you how to make an entire breakfast menu. I don't know if you all know this, but I used to have a breakfast catering business in San Francisco where I developed these sweet and savory recipes that I'm going to be sharing with you. They're guaranteed to fuel you for your day and I hope that you love them. So get excited. While our brownie cake is in the oven, we're going to go ahead and make our cookie dough frosting. Now cookie dough frosting is like the ultimate frosting. It's like regular frosting but tastes just like cookie dough, so it's a perfect combination for our brownie cake. Now I'm going to mix mine in my machine, but you can also mix it by hand. Just make sure you use a lot of elbow grease and room temperature ingredients. We're going to start out the same way you would making any type of frosting. We're going to beat our butter and our cream cheese together really well until there's no lumps. Perfect. Once your butter and cream cheese is beaten up really well, this is the stage you want to add in your sugar. Next, add in your brown sugar. This is one of the ingredients that will make this frosting taste like a cookie dough. And then also follow with your vanilla extract. And then just like the previous step, we want to whip all of these ingredients well together. Once this is all mixed together, we're going to slowly add in our icing sugar. You add it in nice and slowly because it yields a nice fluffy frosting. Once you add in all your icing sugar, what you essentially have now is like a buttercream cream cheese frosting, which is lovely. But to this, we're going to add in a little bit of milk to loosen it up. And then we're going to add in some flour. Now I know this seems kind of weird into a frosting, but this is what makes it like a cookie dough frosting. It makes it doughy, it makes it stiffer and really good. And then last but not least, our chocolate chips, because this is definitely what really makes it chocolate chip cookie dough. And then just whisk it all together. And there you have it, cookie dough frosting. It is that easy. Now I like to add the cream cheese in it because it kind of makes it a little bit salty and cuts the fat and sugar of the other ingredients. This frosting is going to work really well with our brownie cake. Our timer's gone off, so let's check on our brownie cake. Oh wow, look at that. There is a little bit of a jiggle in the middle. It feels kind of soft here, but this is exactly how you want it because once it cools down, it's still going to be nice and fudgy in the middle. Perfect. When your brownie cake is completely cold, now is a really good time to frost it. You can make this cake up to 2 days in advance or you can even freeze it because it freezes really well. I'm going to cut 2 layers into my brownie cake. I know this is homemade, so if it's a little bit crooked, that's okay too. It's still going to taste great. Look at that. That is exactly what you want the inside of your cake to look like, nice and moist and fudgy. And then continue cutting another layer. I'm going to cut 2 all together. Once you've cut all your layers, we're going to generously spread on our cookie dough frosting. I like to spread it on really thick and then bring it all the way out to the edges. It's a good idea to have your frosting at room temperature before you start to spread it on. It makes it a lot easier. I'm lucky that I have a little turntable to help me decorate. It makes my life so much easier. But if you don't worry, just take your time. And then continue with the next layer. Spread it on nice and thick because the frosting is one of the best parts. And then top it off with the final layer. But we're not done decorating yet. We are going to drizzle some lovely warm ganache on top until it flows over the edges. And then of course, I'm going to pipe more cookie dough frosting on top. And then I'm going to sprinkle mini chocolate chips all over for added effect. Look at that big and bold brownie layer cake. I know my both bakers love fudgy brownies and cookies, so you have to try this cake. It is unreal. Okay, I'll stop eating this. I don't know. Don't forget to come back this Monday for the start of my breakfast series. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you back here again next week for more bigger, bolder baking.